So there are some rumors the Pittsburgh Steelers might try to trade for Leighton Vander Esch from the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I loved Vander Esch when he was coming out of Boise State in 2018. And rightfully so, because he's phenomenal as a rookie. He was a second-team All-Pro for the Associated Press, who is, that's the official media group that most people acknowledge as picking the All-Pro teams. But he was also second-team All-Pro for PFF. Now, Pro Football Focus is historically harsh on rookie linebackers because they have struggles in coverage, or oftentimes they're more one-dimensional players who have not adjusted to the NFL game. So the fact that Vander Esch, as a rookie, was a second-team All-Pro for PFF and the Associated Press just tells you how good he was as a rookie. He was phenomenal, and he was everything you could have ever wanted. He never fell at Pittsburgh in 2018, which was a shame because I really wanted them to take him. Unfortunately, Dallas was the smart team in the situation. They just grabbed him when they could. And as a rookie, 140 tackles, 102 solo tackles, this is according to Pro Football Reference, 2 interceptions and 7 passes defensed. So phenomenal. What are the issues? Well, Dallas turned down his fifth-year option because a lot's happened since his rookie season. He only played 9 games in 2019. He only played 10 games this past year. Both seasons was not great. Actually, kind of below average in both years as well. Pass coverage was not where it was in 2019. Obviously, he's battling injuries during both these seasons, so it's not like he was just fully healthy, playing in what we usually expect him to play. But 72 tackles in 9 games in 2019, only 60 tackles in 10 games this past year. And the injuries are really starting to stack up with Leighton Vander Esch. He had a neck stinger in 2019 and just was never right that whole season because of that. He's had some groin injuries, but I think that's dating back to his rookie season. This past year, I believe, was a broken collarbone, which is more of a fluke. That's not something that's generally going to pop back up again throughout your career. That's more something that's a one-time thing. Would you feel a little better about that? Because it's not going to happen again, hopefully. But he's had a couple of neck stingers, neck-level issues in the past. And you start to wonder, because the issues to the neck, the back, those are always things that might never go away. And Dallas right now, from what I'm seeing, wants about a mid-round selection for him. Now, mid-round selection is very broad. So to me, mid-round means 3 to 5, maybe 3 to 6, depending on who you ask. If I'm Pittsburgh, I just don't want to give up a day 2 pick. Sorry about that. If I'm Pittsburgh, I just don't want to give up a day 2 pick. I just don't want to do it because where we are with our roster right now, we need young players desperately. All right, we need to rebuild. And granted, Leighton Vander Esch could be one of those young players. He could. He's realistically I don't know if you guys can hear that, but there's some work being done in the back. I was unaware that would be happening, but Leighton Vander Esch is a young guy. He's 25 years old. He's got, realistically, potentially a 10-year career ahead of him still. It's just that, you don't know what you can expect from a guy like this who's been injured so much, who has not been good the past 2 years, largely because of injuries, but also because his play on the field does not live up to the expectations of his rookie year. Now, Dallas has only hitched him for 1 more year, so realistically, you could wait it out and trade for him down the line, or sign him down the line, in free agency. But if he plays really well, he might raise his value. Now's your shot to trade a mid-round pick. This guy who's phenomenal as a rookie, who's a phenomenal draft prospect on your team. And again, the measurables on him are just insane. He's 6'4", around 250 to 260 pounds. So he's up there. And he can fly too. This is not a slow dude. So you have to love everything he brings to the table. It's just the injuries are so worrisome because you don't know if he'll ever be the same kind of guy again. And with Dallas, there's no comparison here because they're totally different players, totally different scenarios. But I always think about Sean Lee in Dallas, how he was an all-pro caliber player when healthy, but he just was never healthy. He was only healthy for 2 or 3 years of his career, felt like, at the very end. So you have to worry about that kind of stuff with someone like Leighton Vander Esch, because I don't want to be trading a mid-round selection for a linebacker who will just hit free agency, we'll never see him again, or he just doesn't play the field at all. He doesn't see the field. He just isn't healthy enough. That being said, if we could trade a day 3 pick, 4th rounder, 5th rounder, to get Leighton Vander Esch, I would do that. You think the guy you're going to get in the 4th round is going to be as good as Leighton Vander Esch? Probably not. So a 4th round to me would make a lot of sense. I could be convinced with the 3rd rounder as well. I don't want to touch the 2nd round pick. I just don't, because our team right now is old. Let's be realistic. Ben is old. He's going to retire next year. Or he's going to have to, because Pittsburgh doesn't want to bring him back next year. I don't want him back next year based on how he performed this past season. Cameron Hayward's phenomenal. He's the top 3 defensive tackle in the NFL. He's getting up there, though. He's gotten better with age. Don't get me wrong. He's gotten better. It really feels like he's peaking late in his career. But, age is something that you just can't outrun. What about David DeCastro? David DeCastro peaked 3 or 4 years ago. He hasn't been an all-pro in the past couple of years. So you have to look at these things. You have to be concerned about some of these spots opening up here, both the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Joe Hayden's another one. And are you going to pay both Minkah Fitzpatrick and TJ Watt? Terrell Edmonds is in free agency next year. So you're going to have holes opening up. You don't want to trade a day 1 or day 2 pick for Leighton Vander Esch. But if you get him for a day 3 guy, a 4th rounder, 5th rounder, I mean, that would be phenomenal, right? To add that guy alongside Devin Bush, and you have Vince Williams, who maybe will still play some snaps, but I love Vince Williams. But if it's between him and Leighton Vander Esch, give me Leighton Vander Esch. I mean, that's just it. It's a younger guy who can do more in the passing game. So I would lean towards the side of Leighton Vander Esch in that issue, but having Vince Williams on the team would certainly help out quite a bit because Vander Esch has the injury history. So you can have Vander Esch, Bush, Vince Williams, and then you got TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith on the outsides with Quincy Roche working with Highsmith maybe as a rotational group. So you've got a phenomenal linebacker group. You already have a great defense. It should probably be a top 10 defense in the NFL. I won't go top 5 because the secondary still concerns me a little bit, especially at the cornerback 2 spot. But defensive line is looking great. The linebacking core, if you add Leighton Vander Esch, is looking great. You still have Minkah Fitzpatrick back there in the secondary, and Terrell Edmonds is coming off his best year in the NFL. You add Leighton Vander Esch, this defense gets a lot better, especially if he's healthy. So I would be down for trading for Leighton Vander Esch as long as we're not giving up too much or too many high draft assets.